Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and this is part 2 of the 3-part series of Get Fit With Me Meal Prep Edition. And in this series today, we're going to be making spaghetti with spring vegetables. I do apologize ahead of time. I didn't realize for most of this video I was starting to have audio issues, so I'm going to be kind of doing commentary after the fact, but this particular recipe is from the meal prep book that I use a lot, and I hope you enjoy the content as we go into it. So in the bowl, I have, I believe it was like 3 tablespoons of olive oil to set aside because this is going to be a mix that we end up making. And so in order to make sure I had counter space room, I just moved that aside for a second. And with this, we're going to be adding, well, I used plum tomatoes because I still had some left over from a prior recipe, but the recipe calls for cherry tomatoes and garlic. And for those who are very familiar with me and my channel, I always double up on the portions when it comes to the garlic of it all. So that's what we're seeing here. You're witnessing with the plum tomatoes, and then if you actually follow the recipe, the cherry tomatoes, I'm cutting them in halves. And also when it comes for the garlic, it does call for us to do it and do minced garlic. And so I doubled up the minced garlic basically, and we're going to be mixing that into that olive oil that was in the bowl earlier, and that's going to be what we put on top of the pasta, but it's not going to be, it's more of a garnish, so we put that on top of the pasta when we're about to eat it versus just putting it on top to end things. I believe it should go without saying, but of course we're adding salt and pepper to this mix as well, since it is kind of treated as a topper. But yes, that's the last piece. And then once we complete that mix, since I'm not planning on eating this while we're, making this video, I'm going to be setting that aside until, and really that's the idea, you set it aside until you're ready to eat the pasta and put that on top. Next, we're heating the remaining olive oil in a 12-inch skillet. I believe what I used was less than 12 inches, but in this case it worked. And this is where we're going to start cooking the rest of our vegetables, which includes zucchini, asparagus. There's also chives in there, so it's a very, very green dish. And also more garlic, of course, more garlic. while we are prepping the vegetables, and the recipe didn't really say to do it in this way, but I found that it made more sense because it does take time for, water to boil and for you to like, get your pasta ready. So I already have, um, I'm already basically preparing to get the boil water going so that the pasta can be ready. That way it saves a little bit of time on, prepping. And the recipe itself, it calls to do that after the vegetables are ready, which to me makes like no sense. So yeah, might as well get that done while we're getting the vegetables prepped. So there's that. So this is where I had more audio issues. So I wasn't sure if my mic was on or not. But here, as you can see, we added the frozen peas, the water that we set aside, and then the asparagus that we have prepared ahead of time into the skillet to cook that. And yeah. Now here, our pasta is now completely done cooking. So now we're just draining it. And there should be about, I believe it was like a half a cup of water we want to keep um, in like the mixture of the pasta. So like the pasta water. And we're going to be using that to help with kind of making it a sauce, if you will. Because as you could tell, this is probably, or you may not be able to tell, but this is going to be more of like an oil-based pasta versus it being with like a sauce per se, like a marinara sauce or like a cream sauce. So I did end up chopping these up. This is going to be the asparagus chopped up. I did that already. And then we're not doing that until
initially because we don't
later.
Overcook them.
And then this is going to be
the pasta
and zucchini.
Yeah, we're almost.
And then this is going to be
prepping this into the meal prep containers, and that
clove. So yay!
We'll soon conclude this video.
So we're going to go ahead and add this in here right now. And I'm going to use the same plate to put my asparagus on so I can move it out the way. So I have frozen peas. What? I was supposed to thaw these frozen peas, but I did not thaw them. But it's okay. We're going to make it do what it do. All right, so I also am going to need to add frozen peas, I know at some point in time. But besides what I just added here, I also need to add, and I almost forgot, the pepper flakes, which it calls for not even much of it. So just like probably just a crank or two of it, and then that's it. This has salt in it already, but I am going to add just a little bit more just to be on the safe side. Because it also calls for the remaining half teaspoon of salt to be added. And then we're going to cover this. So we're good on that. I'm just going to do this. I want to kind of just put this all in here. And this is on a low. I don't know why it's cooking so fast. And then we're going to cover this. And we're supposed to cook this for about 10 minutes. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes on that. Okay. And then while we're waiting on that, yeah. The other thing that we want to get ready to go besides the peas, which I have here, and it calls for a cup of them. Okay, so this is the peas. They're not quite thawed, but I'm not really that worried about it. And then there is some water that it calls for too. I'm trying to break it down a little bit. Okay, and it's also going to call for water, so there's that. So you would think I would know by heart how many ounces is in a cup. And I totally blanked out. It's 16. And I kind of knew that, but then I just like forgot. So I basically needed, also too, I should probably mention this pasta I'm using, the spaghetti I'm using, because it does call for spaghetti. I'm actually not using regular spaghetti. I'm using yellow lentil and brown rice pasta, because also too, I try not to do gluten-based pasta too much, because I don't know. I think I have a slight gluten allergen. It's not horrible. Oh, all the technical difficulties today. I'm not even sure if you guys hear me or not, but we'll find out. Pasta and toss. Oh my gosh. So much technical difficulties. So much of it. Okay. almost for a fourth of a cup, so if you're wondering. Oh, I'm putting so much on it. That's why. And then the tomato mix we put on top when we're actually gonna eat it. I'm not eating this tonight, so this is why I'm not eating that. So I'm actually probably not even gonna put the tomato stuff even in the meal prep kit. I'm probably gonna put that on the side and just have it ready for when I eat it tomorrow. But that's pretty much it. That's the pasta dish that I got going on. But we don't actually, we only use that for when we're eating it. And then we have one more meal to meal prep and we're done. Kind of.
So that concludes part 2 of the Get Fit With Me series meal prep edition. Stay tuned for part 3.